I thought I'd read this book to you called Letters to My Daughter by Barack Obama. It's a book that he wrote for his daughters, and I bought it for my daughter because I think the things that are said in this book are really, really important. And I don't think it matters if you're a boy or a girl. I think what he says applies to both boys and girls, to sons and daughters. It's written by Barack Obama and it's illustrated by Loren. Barack Obama, of Thee I Sing, Letters to My Daughter, illustrated by Loren. What I like about this illustration is you've got the back of Barack Obama and he's watching his two daughters. Have I told you lately how wonderful you are? How the sound of your feet running from afar brings dancing rhythms to my day? How you laugh and sunshine spills into the room? Have I told you that you are creative? A woman named Georgia O'Keeffe moved to the desert and painted petals, bones, bark. She helped us see big beauty in what is small, the hardness of stone and the softness of feathers. Have I told you how smart you are? That you braid great ideas with imagination. A man named Albert Einstein turned pictures in his mind into giant adventures in science, changing the world with energy and light. Have I told you that you are brave? A man named Jackie Robinson played baseball and showed us all how to turn fear to respect and respect to love. He swung his bat with the grace and strength of a lion and gave brave dreams to others to dream. Have I told you that you are a healer? Sitting Bull was a Sioux medicine man who healed broken hearts and broken promises. It is fine that we are different, he said, for peace is not necessary for eagles to be crows. For peace it is not necessary for eagles to be crows. Though he was put in prison, his spirit soared free on the plains, and his wisdom touched the generations. Have I told you that you have your own song? A woman named Billie Holiday wore a gardenia in her hair and sang beautiful blues to the world. Her voice, full of sadness and joy, made people feel deeply and add their melodies to the chorus. I like the illustration there because you can see how it's not just boys and it's not just girls, it's also boys over there. And if you look, you can see that they're people from all over the world. Have I told you that you are strong? A woman named Helen Keller fought her way through a long, silent darkness. Though she could not see or hear, she taught us how to look at and listen to each other. Never waiting for life to get easier, she gave others courage to face their challenges. Have I told you how important it is to honor others' sacrifices? A woman named Maya Lin designed the Vietnam Veterans Memorial to remember those who gave their lives in the war, and the Civil Rights Memorial to thank many people who fought for equality in America. Public spaces should be filled with art, she thought, so that we can walk amidst it, recalling the past and and inspired to fix the future. Have I told you that you are kind? A woman named Jane Addams fed the poor and helped them find jobs. She opened doors and gave people hope. She taught adults and invited children to play and laugh and let their spirits grow wild. Have I told you, don't give up? When violence erupts in our nation, remember he's talking to American girls, when violence erupts in our nation, but I think you can apply it to anywhere in the world, a man named Martin Luther King Jr. taught us unyielding compassion. He gave us a dream that all races and creeds would walk hand in hand. He marched and he prayed and, one at a time, opened hearts and saw the birth of his own dream in us. Have I told you that you're an explorer? A man named Neil Armstrong was the first to walk on the moon. He watched the world from way up high, and we watched his lunar landing leaps, which made us brave enough to make our own big, bold strides. Have I told you that you are inspiring? A man named Cesar Chavez showed farm workers their own power when they felt they had none. The people were poor, but worked hard and loved the land. Cesar picketed and prayed and talked. The people listened to their hearts and marched for their rights. Yes, you can, said Cesar. Have I told you that you are part of a family? Now, when I read this, I want you to think about the family that you are a part of, not just your family, but I want you to think about the country you come from. And because we live in an international context, I also want you to think about your family that you have that come from all over the world. The people in your class who come from different nations and from different cultures. A man named Abraham Lincoln knew that all America should work together. He kept our nation one and promised freedom to enslaved sisters and brothers. This man of the people, simple and plain, asked no more of our country, that we behave as kin. That means that we behaved as family. And I think that's very important. It's very important that we all behave as family, especially at this time when things are so difficult and so confusing, because we can contact our family overseas, but we also have people that we love from our classes and people that we love from our communities. And they're part of our family, they're part of our kin. Have I told you to be proud to be American? Everybody should be proud to be part of the country that they come from. Not only that, you should also be proud to be a third culture person, because all of you come from everywhere, because you live in a different country to your passport. And that's really important. And so you are a citizen of the world, not only a citizen of your country. The first president, George Washington, believed in liberty and justice for all. His barefoot soldiers crossed wintry rivers, forging ever on. He helped make an idea into a new country, strong and true, a country of principles, a country of citizens. Have I told you that America is made up of people of every kind? And think here about our communities. Think about school. Our school is made up of people of every kind. people of all races, religions, beliefs, people from the coastline, lines and the mountains, people who have made bright lights shine by sharing their unique gifts and giving us the courage to lift one another up, to keep up the fight and to work and build upon all the good that is in our nation. And we can apply that to the world as well. Have I told you that they are all a part of you? Have I told you that you are one of them and that you are the future? Have I told you that I love you? Now at the back of this book, over here, if you ever get a copy of it, there is information about all of the famous people that are mentioned in this book. Letters to My Daughter by Barack Obama.